Welcome to another in our series of Voices of Innovation, the Authors Edition. And really excited to introduce you to a friend of mine, a colleague. I'm sure everyone already knows Inder, but we'll do a quick introduction here in a second. But we're really here to talk about this new book. It's Voices of Innovation, the second edition. The first edition came out in 2019, and it did really well. It was a healthcare bestseller. And then the pandemic happened. Publisher came back and said, Ed, would you redo a second edition, and full of stories from the pandemic. They're not all pandemic stories, but a lot of them were birthed out of the pandemic. And so I said, yeah, of course. But again, if it's just me, the book will be boring. It'll be a very thin book. But if I can reach out to my colleagues like Inder, it'll be a really thick book and good of great information. And so what it does, if you're not familiar with the outline of the book, it takes the framework of innovation that HIMSS developed, and there's like 8 steps. And then there's colleagues from around the world who've each submitted essays that fit around one of those 8 steps. So you get the framework and 4 or 5 real life stories, how people are using innovation and innovating in their own organizations and making change happen, saving people's lives, improving operations, all sorts of good stuff. So July 17th is when it drops. In the comment section, I'll drop how you can order it, pre-order it now. The publisher has been very kind to offer a discount for pre-orders. And the best thing, though, about the book that I appreciate the most, we've all been impacted by cancer somehow, some way. I lost my mom. That was my first impact with cancer. I lost my mom about 15 years ago to ovarian cancer. And I thought to myself, if I ever have a chance to make any extra money, I'm just going to donate it all to curing cancer. So all the books go that way. And this one, the introduction is written by Jennifer Fox. She's the CEO of Mary Crowley Cancer Research. It's like a medical center here in Dallas. I'm on the board. They're a phase 1 clinical trial company. So this is where people go when they haven't had much opportunity elsewhere for healing. It's where hope lives. And so it's a great organization. And so all the royalties from the authors go there. So without further ado, Inder, welcome to this session, and tell everyone a little bit about yourself, and then we'll jump into what you contributed.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ed, for the opportunity. I'm happy to be here. And so just as a way of introduction, my name is Inderpal. I'm Vice President and Chief Information Officer at Englewood Health in New Jersey. I have over 25 years in IT industry, a better part of those, like over 22 years in healthcare industry, really planning, implementations, design, development, and maintenance of information technology solution over the last 20 years, and really more in the provider setting. At Englewood, I am responsible to see all IT initiatives, digital transformation, the strategies, and we are an acute care hospital with over 100 locations out in the community, all connected through a single patient record, all on a single network. So that is, in short, my current role and bio. Prior to this, I spent a long time at Hospital Special Surgery in New York, and prior to that, I was at Columbia University Medical Center.
Yeah, you have a great background. You've worked with some amazing leaders, which has helped establish yourself as an amazing leader. I had a chance to visit with you and your organization. It was really cool, and I left inspired, and I'm glad you've contributed to the book. So part of that innovation framework has to do with what we call recognizing and rewarding innovation. And you wrote a chapter in there on fostering and supporting innovation. Can you sort of give a teaser to our audience about what's in that chapter and what they could learn from?
Right, sure. So, I will preface this by saying that innovation is a necessity and also a privilege. And a necessity because we continually need to innovate. Being part of IT industry, I'm fortunate that we can continue to innovate. As I always say, we are always riding a new S-curve and always riding the wave. Why it's a privilege? Because most organizations cannot really set it up as one of the pillars of the strategic plan, cannot really fund it separately to go and establish a full-fledged innovation department, innovation sub-segment. So my experience have been more within organizations who are not in a position to do that. So then it becomes challenge for us as a leader. How do you innovate? How do you keep your team motivated? Because no matter, right, all the growth projects we do, all the implementation, it becomes monotonous, and everyone needs that excitement of new stuff. So that's what I try to portray in the two examples I shared in my chapter, which is really one is targeting a very specific clinical use case, other is targeting an enterprise infrastructure. But the common element in both is they were pioneer. They cut the trail. They were first of its kind and paved the way for others to follow.
No, that's great. Yeah. So listeners and readers can be encouraged that there is hope, right? Yeah, you're describing organizations where maybe innovation wasn't top of mind, wasn't the top priority or in the top 10, and you were still able to pioneer things and make things happen. And so your example in the chapter is just full of practical wisdom that people can follow, and the things that you accomplished with your teams just were outstanding. So it's super important, super interesting. And that's what makes this book, like we've talked about, offline, what makes it so valuable is it can just help so many people, no matter where they are with innovation. And it's a great contribution, I think, that will help health systems and hospitals and practices and really payers, everything, everyone that's involved, help them sort of like spur this innovation. Not to put you on the spot, Inder, but if I were to ask you, what's one other piece of advice that you would give someone that said, Inder, I know you've done it. What's one thing I should think about when it comes to innovation?
So one thing which has worked for me is I have partnered with our vendors. So, again, if I don't have the kind of resources I need to establish my own innovation framework, then the next best thing is to find the partner who shares the same passion, right? For variety of purposes, but I think I'm a firm believer in healthcare. We all are on a mission and we all collaborate. I could be competing with the next hospital for, for patients and cases, but when it comes to patient care initiatives, we will collaborate and help each other. And I believe a lot of partners who are very well ingrained in the healthcare philosophy come with the same mindset on the table. So that's my piece of advice. And that's how I was successful, where we trusted our partners, we took a leap of faith, but also they provided the equal amount of handshake for us to continue to develop this model and really launch out an initiative which was a risky endeavor, but we all, sustained and we all delivered what is now becoming an industry standard.
Yeah, beautifully said. Yeah, you can't do it alone. Reach out to partners, reach out to colleagues and everyone. That's what, yeah, I love that about our culture as well in healthcare. Everyone's truly, it's a mission for the majority of people. Inder, thank you so much for being a contributor. As you know, again, your insights are so important for everyone, but the profits really go to help people, help save lives. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you again for the opportunity to contribute. And I hope the readers find it valuable and utilize these to innovate further.
All right. Again, we'll drop how you can pre-order the book in the notes in the comments. Thank you.
Thank you.